Hello everyone, Rubical here, welcome back to a new video, and today I am going to be showing you how to get pumpkins fast. As you can see, I have 70k, so I know a thing or two. But before we get into this, if you could like and subscribe, that would be very much appreciated. Now, there are 4 methods to get pumpkins fast, and all of the timestamps will be in the description. So, let's go. Now, there are 4 methods of collecting pumpkins. 2 are AFK, and 2 are manual, meaning you have to do it yourselves. And they are collecting orbs, AFKing in the pumpkin circle, knocking on the houses, and just AFKing at one house. And I'll be doing each of these for 5 minutes and telling you how much pumpkins they make and the pros and cons of each method. So, and one quick thing to mention is that depending on how many pets you have, you'll be gaining more pumpkins, but the best method is still gonna give you the most pumpkins. So let's get into method number 1. Now, this method really surprised me because this is actually the fastest ways to get pumpkins in the game. I mean, I thought it would be method number 3, knocking on the doors, but no, this gained over 10,000 more pumpkins, which is crazy because we started with 75,000 pumpkins and ended with 106,000, meaning we gained 31,014 pumpkins just from this, which is over like 6k more than method number 3. So now the pros and cons is, there's really only 2 cons. The first one is you need a decent amount of speed. Like if you're just starting the game, this isn't going to be good for you because you're going to be super slow. And then the other thing is that you cannot AFK this, but that's kind of expected. But I really think the trade-off is worth it because you get the most. And then also there is like an optimal route to collect them in. But I mean, really just running around will get the job done pretty easily. But now the pros is that pumpkin orbs not only give you pumpkins, but they also give you speed, gold, and XP, and then additionally you can swing your sword while you're doing it, so you just get a little bit of everything, which I think is extremely good. And now people can mess you up if there's a lot of people going for orbs, but I mean, for me that wasn't an issue because I was in a pretty empty lobby. But yeah, overall method number 1, a lot better than I expected. The best way to get pumpkins in the game. I really didn't think that it would outclass the doors, but it did by a lot. Let's go to method number 2. Now, method number 2 is pretty self-explanatory. What it is just AFKing in the pumpkin area. I mean, it is pretty simple, but there's a lot more to it. So we started with 106,218 pumpkins, and we finished with 113,369 pumpkins, which means we gained 7,151 pumpkins. Now that may not seem like a lot, but that was only in the span of 5 minutes. So imagine if you did that all day or overnight, you would get quite a bit. But that's not all. The pros and cons are quite good. The pros are obviously that you can AFKable, and it doesn't matter how many people are in the lobby because you just have to swing your sword inside the circle. And the cons are, obviously, it makes you less shells, but you can't do much about that. And that is really the only con. So yeah, that was method number 2, short and sweet, just AFKing in the circle. And let's go on to method number 3. Now, method number 3 is knocking on all of the doors. And now, going into this video, I thought this one was the best by far. But now, as we know, that collecting orbs is the best one. But it's still important to talk about this one. Now, I started with 113,418 pumpkins, and I ended with 139,258, which means using this method I gained 25,840 pumpkins, which is a lot, but it still is 6k less than the orbs, which leads me straight into the pros and cons. Now obviously the con is that you can't AFK it, but you can't AFK this method and the first method. Therefore, I would just definitely go for the first method 100% of the time. Just don't even bother with the doors. But also another huge thing, if you are going after this method, if there's a lot of people, then it is going to be so hectic trying to open doors because they take the doors from you. Now the pros are, it's the second best method, which I wouldn't really call it a pro. But then also, if you want to get on the leaderboard just for yourself or just for fun, then you have to do this method. And then one important thing that I need to bring up here is that there's 10 houses in this zone. So if you're making 200 pumpkins per house, that means every lap around you're gonna be making 1 pet. So I just think that's a pretty interesting fact. So yeah, overall, not a terrible way, especially when you start out. But yeah, definitely go for number 1 instead. Let's go to the fourth and final method. And for this fourth and final kind of goofy method, I thought it would be fun to test out how much pumpkins you get from AFKing at one house if you just set your macro up and just keep on knocking at one door. And here are the results. They're not too surprising. So I started with 139,618 pumpkins and I finished with 145,288 pumpkins, which means I gained 5,670 pumpkins. So the least amount of pumpkins in any method by like 2k. So yeah, definitely don't try this. There's not really any pros and cons because it's the worst method. If you're looking for an AFK one, just AFK in the pumpkin circle because the gap is just going to get bigger and bigger over time. So yeah, this is pretty much just this method. I just thought it would be fun to test out and see if it was any good, and newsflash, it's not. So let's go to the overview / results. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the little overview of all 4 methods. Again, if I missed one, which I highly doubt I did, just leave it in the comments. But yeah, to overview them, the best way to get pumpkins in the game is collecting pumpkin orbs. I've said this before and I'll say it again, definitely shocked me. And the second best method is just going and opening up these doors. So the 2 best methods, you cannot AFK. But then coming in 3rd place is just AFKing here. And there is a huge gap between AFKing and just doing an actual, like a manual method. Because this gives you like 5 times less than like the collecting orbs, which is honestly insane when you think about. But I think that's honestly really balanced at the same time. So if you are looking to get orbs for sure, or not looking to get orbs, if you are looking to get pumpkins for sure, go after the orbs and you will get them in no time. And I guess to kind of end this off, I'll open up a couple pets. But I do want to save some of my pumpkins because definitely in the next video, I'm definitely want to do a huge unboxing. And you know what method I'm going to be using to gain the pumpkins? Definitely running around to get most of them because boy is that profitable. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you haven't already, just like and subscribe because it really helps me make more content and pushes it out. And hopefully watch the video all the way through because I spent a stupid amount of time editing it. Because I hate adding sliding text. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening. I don't judge. But yeah, happy collecting pumpkins and I hope you get lucky. This has been Rubrical and I'm out. See ya. Bye.